Or welcome back, everybody. So, let's talk about this. Trump had a rally in New York City over the weekend, and it got compared to a Nazi rally that happened in the 30s, I guess. Hey, but there was a few things that happened. Kill Tony, Tony. I'm not gonna try and pronounce his last name, but look, he's a comedian. He made some off-color jokes that people didn't like, but you know that happens when you have a comedian come on. People can't make jokes anymore, I guess. But I don't watch his stuff. Kill Tony, I guess, is his show. It's pretty popular. I mean, he sold out Madison Square Garden a couple times, I guess. I know at least once, but I guess what he said was off-putting. He's a comedian, though. I mean, he's vulgar. I guess I don't watch his show, so I don't know. A lot of people said it's really good. He's very popular, so I don't. He, like I said, he's a comedian, so he makes jokes. It was a joke, and people there was a joke he said, and people didn't like it. So that's just the gist of that. But it was automatically compared to the Nazi rally that was held in the 30s, and I think it was 1939 is what it said, and people are just the left. They're just losing their mind over it. Uh, I don't know. I thought it was okay. I he came out and he did his thing, and there's a lot of people out there critiquing everything he does. So it's just one of the things. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this here. We'll just go ahead and automatically. This is Walsett, a little rally that he did, and he just compared it just to the Nazi rally that was held back in the 30s. So we'll go ahead and check this one out real quick.
Donald Trump has descended into madness over the last few weeks. And I think some of you don't miss on this. Go do your Google on this. Donald Trump's got this big rally going at Madison Square Garden. There's a direct parallel to a big rally that happened in the mid 1930s at Madison Square Garden. And don't think that he doesn't know for 1 second exactly what they're doing there. So look, we said we're all running like everything's on the line because it is. It is. And I've been saying for the last 3 months or so that there'll be plenty of time for all of us to sleep when we're dead. Now is not the time. Now is not the time. So
Look, here's my thing. Look, a rally. Now, there's been a lot of stuff. I mean, there's basketball games that are played there. There's other rallies. Clinton held a rally there. Um, George Bush held a rally there. A lot of people have had rallies there, Democrats and Republicans alike. If you're gonna just automatically compare him, because it's the only thing they have is comparing him to people are tired of this. They're just because every time these people speak, it's Nazi, Hitler, Orange Man bad, and people are just tired of it. And they can compare the 4 years of President Trump, really three because COVID jacked everything up. So you got those 3 years, and then you got the last 4 years with Harris and Biden. They can compare those. There's that. I think that's the big key in this election is the fact that you've got the two administrations to compare, and one was obviously a lot better than the other. So that's what people are going off of. You can say all you want that he's Hitler and he's a threat to democracy and blah 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 blah. But when you compare the two administrations, it's not even a question. Look, the majority of people, they vote on what is going on as of now. They don't. It's the same reason why when COVID hit at the end of President Trump's administration, I think the big key of the fact that he was not voted back in was because of the fact that the economy went to crap and everything because of COVID. People were not happy with the situation in their day to day lives, so that's why he got voted out, and Harris and Biden got voted in. Fast forward to today, it's the same thing. The current administration, the economy is bad. People can't afford groceries. Like I said before, I know people that are using credit cards just to buy groceries. So people vote on what's happening in their day to day lives. A lot of the times they don't look back and say, see what was before. So you can say what you want about the guy, but the current state of the nation is people are struggling. So that's what they're voting based off of. So that's why I don't think that they're in a good position. I don't think that they're going to win. I think President Trump's going to get back in there, and I think it's a good thing for the country. So, but we'll see. So Harris was stopped on the tarmac before she was, getting back onto her plane, going somewhere else. She was asked about the rally, and this is what she had to say.
Follow up to your remarks about President Trump's rally last night. Some people who watched that made comparisons between a rally that happened at Madison Square Garden in 1939 with neo-Nazis or Nazis back then. Do you see those comparisons? And can you also expand on what he said and what you said yesterday about Puerto Rico?
Donald Trump this is not new about him, by the way. What he did last night is not a discovery. It is just more of the same and maybe more vivid than usual. Donald Trump spends full time trying to have Americans point their finger at each other, fans the fuel of hate and division, and that's why people are exhausted with him. That's why people who formerly have supported Donald Trump, have voted for him, are supporting me, voting for me. People are literally ready to turn the page.
Okay, so that's what she every time she's asked about him, she says that he's divisive, and everything he says at his rallies is divisive and mean and cruel, and he's not fit, he's unstable, and blah 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 blah. Look, she attacks him every chance she gets. So does Tim Walz, and if you want to talk, he does it back. I'm not going to say that he doesn't. He does attack him. So does J.D. Vance. But they're in a race for the presidency and the vice presidency. It's gonna happen. But for her to come out every time she talks about him and his rallies, she says that all he does at his rallies is divide the country. I'm gonna show you something here. And this, you tell me if you think this is, like I said, there is banter about back and forth between the Harris campaign and the Trump campaign, attacking each other. That happens in a presidential race. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of respect between the two parties anymore. So, but look, he says a lot of stuff that's positive. He throws things out there trying to unite the country and trying to make it a better place. So I'm gonna show you this, and you can, like I said, you can tell me if you think that this is divisive or if this is a positive message that he's putting out.
And I'm asking you to be excited about the future of our country again. I'm asking you to dream big again. We're going to dream big again. We haven't been dreaming big at all. This will be America's new golden age. It's going to happen quickly, too, very quickly. Every problem facing us can be solved, but now the fate of our nation is in your hands. Next Tuesday, you have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala Harris that you've done a terrible job.
All right, and then he goes into the whole, because that's their shtick, J.D. Vance and President Trump, they always say it's time for Kamala to be fired. J.D. Vance throws in there, we're not going to give her promotion, we're going to fire her. But that sounded pretty positive to me. You let me know. I thought that was pretty good as far as the speech goes. So, the whole Tony thing, kill Tony. Look, like I said before, he's a comedian. He says a lot of off-putting jokes. Like I said, I'm not a fan. I haven't watched Kill Tony. I don't know what it's all about. I've heard things that it's, he can be a bit vulgar, and from the statements or jokes, look, the jokes, I'm going to tell you this, they were jokes. Okay, they weren't statements that he was putting out. They were jokes. He was saying jokes. Anyway, the jokes that I heard from him that night, there was a couple that were pretty vulgar, and that I laughed. I mean, like I said, I'm not a big fan of his. I only say that just because I've never watched his show Kill Tony. But like I said, it's very, very popular. He's sold out in arenas. He He's very popular and he's on the rise. So I don't know, but check this. This is what he said, and you know,
There's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Where are my proud...
See, like I said, it's a joke. I didn't find that one funny, but other maybe if I don't know, when I was younger, I had a different sense of humor. I guess maybe I would have thought it was funny when I was a little younger, but I didn't find that very funny. So a lot of people do. A lot of people thought it was funny, but like I said, it was a joke, and for everybody to come out and say blah 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 blah, and Biden had to get his 2 cents in about it, and this is what he said about it. So,
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
okay, so there's that. So Biden has to come out. Now he might have misspoke, he might not have, but he come out and it's all over the internet that now that he's calling Trump supporters garbage now because of a joke that was made at the Trump rally by Tony. Like I said, probably not the best joke to make, but people thought it was funny. I don't see what the big deal is. It's a joke. I mean, and I'm gonna show you this here. This is see George Lopez. He was at a Kamala rally, and he made a joke about the Mexican border, about the wall that you better build it in one day, or the stuff's gonna go missing because thieves. I mean, he said it, not me. Just saying. I mean, this. Like I said, this is the it's okay for them to do it, but not. I get that there's a difference between the two jokes, but it's still a knock on a certain race, if it were, as it were. It's still a knock on it, but it's still just a joke. George Lopez came out and did this joke, and nobody batted an eye at it. So
Donald Trump said he was going to build a wall, and George Lopez said, "You better build it in one day, because if you leave that material out there overnight..."
he's looking around, gesturing that the stuff, the materials for the wall would be gone, saying that it was stolen. It was stolen. Excuse me. So, like I said, it's okay for them to do it, but not for the Republicans. That's what I'm pointing out here. I don't see how it's okay for one side and not the other. So, like I said, it's jokes, and I'm fine. I was fine with George Lopez's joke. It's fine. It's a joke. Anyway, oh my gosh. There's one more thing I wanted to touch on here. This is it's voiced over. It's a commercial for the Harris campaign. It's not. Now at the end of it, it doesn't say endorsed by. It's not approved by Kamala Harris. How they do at the end of the commercials. I'm blah blah blah, and I endorse this message. But it's voiced over by Julia Roberts, one of the most an A-list actress who has every right in the world, just like every other woman in the U.S. And this commercial basically is just saying that the only rights that women have are voting, which is, I think it's the wrong message to send out, for one. I mean, and for two, it makes it sound like she's afraid of her husband, but since she's in the voting booth, he'll never know. And I don't think that this is going to go over well, especially with the men that they're trying to target. So, I mean, because they're losing the majority vote of the men. I think, like I talked about internal polling and everything else. I think they're losing badly as far as when it comes to the men's vote. So I don't know how this helps them with that, and I don't understand the message they're trying to portray with this, because to me, like I said, it sounds like they're coming off as women only have a right to vote, and that's it. That's the only right they have, and you shouldn't be afraid of your husband finding out because it's in the polls and he can't ever find out. So you don't have to worry about him either. So I think it's the wrong message, but take a look.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose.
The one place in America where women have the right to choose. What?
You can vote any way you want. And no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls.
Are they really saying that the women are afraid of their husbands? I mean, he seemed like a nice guy. I don't know. Maybe she's behind closed doors. He's not nice. I don't know. It's a commercial. I get it. But you know what? I think it's the wrong message to send out, especially when the fact that you're saying that the one place in America where women still have rights? Are you kidding me? Come on, Julia. I can't believe you agreed to voice over that commercial. That's crazy. My 2 cents on it, I don't. It's terrible. Everything that they're doing as far as the Harris Walls campaign, everything they're doing is terrible, and they're not winning over anybody with this crap. They're not. I don't get it. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Hopefully be back soon. If you like what you saw, hey, hit that subscribe, follow me. I'll be back again. I appreciate you hanging out and hope you all have a good day.